All right, everybody, what is going on? Cobra Trading here, back again. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin in just a moment, but real quickly, I just want to say a couple things. Earlier today on my Twitter, as well as my Telegram, I explained in a little more detail why I haven't been as consistent with my videos in the last week or so, and I had car problems. Now all of that is resolved. I was really just overworked and just pushing myself too hard with all of the different things that I was trying to do between freelance and trading and these videos and my Amazon business, and there was just way too many things going on. So I'm gonna take a step back from a couple of these things so I can keep providing you guys with really good content. So I wanted to get into some of the PayPal stuff that was going on and how the fundamentals kind of affected some of this price action, but I'm probably just gonna cut that out of this video and save that for a video for either later today or tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for coming. Make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos or tutorials. And if you are coming back, thank you very much. And I mentioned my Telegram, link to that is down in the description below. Make sure that you check that out along with all of the other links. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Taking a look at the macro view here on the Bybit chart, a lot of people are saying, oh man, you know, the bull market is finally here. The bull market, in my opinion, has been here. When we had this huge V-shaped recovery and then we had a bullish retest here, this was confirmation of the trend changing. For right now, Bitcoin on this macro view on this weekly chart is looking absolutely fantastic, right? So we broke through our range high, which was also our previous 2020 yearly high up here. Everything has been looking really, really good. In my opinion, you know, closing above this and seeing, you know, maybe some sideways action or a bullish retest of our 2020 yearly high is definitely going to be in order. Those levels are 90% of the time, especially higher time frame, weekly supports, monthly supports. Those are definitely going to get retested before a continuation of the trend. Do I think our trend is over? No, absolutely not. Everything is looking very, very good here. And for the most part, I'm pretty bullish. We have to absolutely make a higher high in terms of our MACD. If we end up seeing something like this, where we get a lower high and a massively higher high in price, we will definitely see a very, very sharp, probably very steep correction after that occurs. So I will be watching that closely. It's probably going to take a few months for something like that to develop, maybe 2 months or so, but that's going to be something that I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and I think you should as well. All right, now coming down to a daily chart here, and this is what I was posting with these harmonic patterns. I want to go into just detail, just real briefly about this. So originally I had this as a, you know, your typical Gartley pattern, and we had this bullish retest here and we continued up higher. That turned this into basically a bat pattern, which would have been somewhere around in this area. And that also got invalidated as we pushed up a lot higher. So now I'm sticking with my original idea, which is pretty much we're heading up towards here, right? We've blown through a lot of areas of resistance, and I can easily see us hitting, you know, at least 13,450, 13,500 in this last move up to maintain this crab pattern. Now, normally crab patterns reverse to about 61.8% into that golden pocket. And we know how much all the algo traders and all that stuff, they absolutely love using that golden pocket, right? So let's take out our fib measurements real quick and just kind of dive a little deeper into this. So if you measure from the top to the bottom of our harmonic pattern here, from X to A, that first leg down, what you can see here is that this is where my target is, the 1618 extension, right? So this was pretty much confirmed once we had broken through our 786 and our 618. Once we got the bullish retest of our initial golden pocket here and we continued way up higher, that's pretty much what is confirming this pattern for me. So there are some time restraints. Like obviously these patterns can't go on forever. Like we're not going to stretch this last leg out, you know, all the way into, you know, 2021, right? There's got to be some kind of time restraint with these patterns. That's absolutely correct. If you measure from the X wave to the C wave right here. Basically, what needs to happen is it needs to complete sometime between 10:29 and 11:09 on the daily chart. So we've got some ways to go with this, but basically in here between pi and 2618 is where this final extension, this final wave of this entire pattern would need to complete. So as you can see here, that's pretty much why I've got my D leg ending up here. That's why I've got this red box up here. So just so that it makes a little more sense to you of exactly how I got this as my target zone. That's pretty much what I wanted to explain with the harmonic patterns. I'm probably going to end up doing a tutorial on this stuff later on. Let me know down in the comments below if that's something that you would like to see. So let's just move on a little bit and take a look at some of this price action that's going on the daily chart. So if we look at this, we can actually see that from way back here, after we had this initial bump up in price, that we had a lot of just really just the volume just started dying, right? Typically what ends up happening is volume will come in. You'll see a big volume bar like this normally after the main part of the trend has already happened. So this is a pretty typical thing to have happen. Same thing with this. The volume was decreasing. We actually had a pretty big bump up in price up to here. We had that one last big volume bar, and then the price just kind of, the volume just kind of died off as we were kind of ranging here. So same thing is happening here. We had pretty much volume, being either steady or slowly dying off as we were getting higher highs and higher lows. And as we got this last final really big pump in price, we got that big volume bar. So I would expect us from here to probably be doing some kind of bullish retest of our range high or moving sideways for some time before actually coming up and, retesting our 2019 yearly high. So let's move down to a 4-hour chart and just kind of see on some of these lower timeframes where we really stand. Once we ended up breaking out from here and we started going sideways, that's when I drew these lines. I said, okay, for a bullish breakout of this pennant, we have to close above this previous low here, which was 11,136. And at worst case scenario, we have to hold pretty much the previous top of the triangle at 10,900. And then from there, we just continued to rock it up. We broke this previous high here on this candle with some volume coming in at 11,500, had a bullish retest at 11,700. And then continued our way up higher. So pretty much once we got this this golden cross on our 4-hour chart with our 50 and our 200 EMA crossing, that's pretty much when Bitcoin took off to the races. And we used our 50 EMA as support here after that first move up in price upon that breakout and consolidation of that triangle. So we used the 50 EMA as support and then continued our way upwards. I definitely feel like we are going to retest these levels. From our last low to our previous high. I think it might actually be, no, it is this one. So that would be right here at our 2020 yearly high. Not even a coincidence. It's right at our 382 level. So I would totally expect that. A deeper retracement would probably be, the 0.5 level and a wick down into our golden pocket here, which is just at about $12,000. So retesting 12,000 right now, that's $1,000 move. We're really closing in on 13,000. We haven't had a candle close above 13,000 yet on Bybit, but I think that that's probably in store in the not so distant future. We have wicked up above 13,200 though, which is really, really good. All right, so I haven't taken a look at this in quite some time. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Trading Light platform. There'll be a link, I guess, in the top right corner for you to click. And if you want to watch the entire video about how this platform works and, a tutorial / tour of the entire platform. So I'm not going to go over that very much, but I am going to go over this heat map real quick on a couple different exchanges. So I'm going to start on just regular Binance. We can see that our on-balance volume has just really, really been ramping up into gear. A lot of this also has to do with liquidations on derivatives charts, but we'll get into that in a minute. You can see that here on Binance, on this lower time frame on the 1 hour, we've had steadily increasing volume here, and all is looking pretty well. We've got some pretty substantial orders above us. You can also see that here in the order book. There's a lot of resistance between 13,000 and 13.2, which is pretty much where we're at now. We're just under that at about 12,950. So we do have support underneath us. However, that's about that $12,500 level, which I was just talking about, which does make sense because on the majority of the exchanges, that would be the retest of the 2020 yearly high. That's something that I want to point out. Obviously, with all of this heat that we have going on above us, this is all of the resistance that that we're talking about right around here, 13,200, 13,500. And then underneath us for support at that yearly high at 12,005. Let's switch over to Binance Futures and see what that one looks like. Just from looking at this futures chart, I can already tell you that in terms of people that are playing derivatives, people that are playing futures, for the most part is way more bullish than people that are playing on spot right now. And the reason why I say that is just looking at this chart, you can see that there's a much more substantial amount of support below us, everywhere from 12,700 down to that $12,500 level. And also looking at this order book, you can see that here as well. 12,900, 800, 700. Like there is way, way more support here on the Binance Futures side of things than there is on the spot side of things. Also, in addition to that, though, you also have way more people that are trying to sell at these levels up here. So the first little block we have is at 13.2. That's no surprise. 13.4, 13.5. Like there's a lot of orders up here for people to be taking profits off of this move. So most of the people that were playing futures, they've probably been in for quite some time, probably since at least 11,200. And they're waiting for that perfect time to sell, which is like retesting that 2019 yearly high at about 14,000 or maybe just before, so that they can front run the majority of the retail traders and exit those positions before them. So that's totally expected in this kind of move. This is exactly what I want to see here on this chart in terms of price action and stability with where people are laying their orders. This all looks very, very organic to me. This looks like a combination of retail investors and larger whales that are playing on this move, which is a very good thing. That's the sign of a pretty healthy uptrend in terms of Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at a different derivatives exchange real quick. Okay, so this is actually taking a look at Derbit. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because, again, this is another exchange that you can see we have a lot of massive amounts of support and buy orders right here in this big volume gap. Everyone is putting, for the most part, their orders in this big volume gap here, which is why I'm really thinking that this is going to end up getting filled. Everywhere from 12,700 or so down to 12,500 is a major, major support zone. So it's looking like once we test that and it doesn't fail, it's looking like that's going to be our new floor, and that's going to be the bullish retest of that 2020 yearly high before we start pushing up higher. All right, so let's talk liquidation levels real quickly. For me personally, this is still extremely relevant. For all of you that think, oh, there's nobody that's trading on BitMEX anymore, that's a complete lie. I mean, look at this liquidation chart. And this is looking pretty ridiculous in here. Let's zoom in a little bit, and I'll actually make this full screen so that you guys can see all of this. But this is looking pretty ridiculous. Remember when I said that, 12,500 is pretty much going to be our base? This is the only reason why I'm worried about that down here. So there is a lot of support, and there's a lot of people waiting at that base to be rebuying. However, there are a lot of really, really massive orders down here. Okay, so 17, 10, what are all these? 18, 16, 11, 10, 10, 23. There's a lot. There's probably 180 to 200 million contracts worth of orders. I really hope that if we do come down to 12,500 and we do retest that 2020 yearly high, I really hope that what ends up happening is that's not when the bears show up and just start putting massive amounts of sell pressure on to suppress the price and force a long squeeze. If that happens, 12.5 will definitely be lost, and we will be moving down further to be liquidating a lot of these orders. Okay. These orders go all the way down to probably about, what is this, 11,150 almost. This could trigger if those long positions weren't closing out and taking profit, and there was a lot of short selling pressure on Bitcoin. There's a very solid chance that all of these could get liquidated. Normally, the price gravitates towards the liquidity. You guys have heard me say that time and time again. Now, the liquidity that's closer to us is the short side. So let's go back to the chart real quick and I'll explain. So I'm going to illustrate this with that harmonic pattern that I drew at the beginning of the episode, right? So if this is what's going to be happening, one, let me turn the magnet off. We are not very far away from reaching this point either today or tomorrow. We're already very close to this. This is at about 13,467. We've come $200 or so away from that already. So we're very close to hitting this target. Now, what I feel is going to happen, look at where that price is, 13,450, between 450 and 500, right? Let's switch back and look at that liquidation chart. This is exactly what we would need to wipe out the rest of these shorts up here, okay? So if Bitcoin gets one last blast of really good bullish momentum before a consolidation on this move, that is so far very parabolic in my opinion, or it's going to lead to that, all of that goes right up to 13,600 so. That leads me to think that if this pattern does in fact play out, let's say we take this point and we put it at exactly 13,500, let's say 550, right? Let's overshoot a little bit. If we take our fibs and we measure from A to D, that ending point, where are our targets? Okay, so this would put our retracement just under, for a 382, that would put us just under that $12,500 limit. That's still inside this red box. If we can turn this red box to green, all will be well in the Bitcoin sphere of us having, yes, a totally confirmed bullish market. And yes, we're going to see 14K. Yes, we may see 20K, whatever. It's going to explode. It's going to go mainstream. More people are going to find out about it. And there's a lot of things that's involved with that I'll put in that other video that I mentioned before about PayPal, but we'll get into that later. That's going to cause just a massive domino rally, right? So that's pretty much what I'm expecting here. Short term to midterm, I'm expecting to hit that $13,500 target. That's where I will personally be laddering my shorts between 13.5 and 14K for a short sell. Basically just trying to pull profits off of a retracement and then longing it again. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 13,500. I'm looking for between 12,000 and 12,500 to be holding, or well, 12,200 really. 12,200 to 12,500 to hold as a bullish retest. And then I expect us to go up further from there. So that's pretty much where I stand today. So I know that we covered a lot. I know that that was like a lot of information to take in. I'm going to do what I can to make that PayPal video and the fundamental side of things either today or maybe tomorrow. I'll probably record it today and get it up tomorrow for you guys. That's pretty much where I stand with Bitcoin. Like I said, I know that that's a lot, but let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to do an actual tutorial on Fibonacci and how that relates to patterns, harmonics, Elliott wave, all that stuff. Make sure that you smash the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And until next time, happy trading.